What's up, guys? Rick from DFS On Demand here with your one and done preview for the Rocket Mortgage Classic. But before we get into that, let's look back at last week's Travelers Championship and who the highest owned golfers were in the Gups Corner one and done. Here they are. Pretty not surprising. Paul Casey led the way with 389 picks, followed by Bubba Watson. I actually expected more for Bubba, but he's been playing so poorly. If he had been playing well coming in, I think we would have seen Bubba at 500, 600, which is where we would see like Hideki at the Waste Management or somewhere just, DJ maybe at Pebble Beach if you weren't going to use him for the US Open, where you have one guy whose course history is just so phenomenal that everybody in the world plays him. So Bubba actually gets a little bit of a cut because of his recent form. Bryson at 215, kind of shocking with his recent run. Patrick Cantlay and then Jordan Spieth rounding out the top five. So if you had one of those golfers, which we did, our season long, I believe, had Paul Casey in it. He did end up finishing T5, which earned us a few $100,000. He was in second place for a bit, but finished well on Sunday, shot one of the best rounds of the week to shoot up the leaderboard a bit. Bryson, kudos to those who picked Bryson. He was not on my radar. He ends up getting a T8, does not get the win. Cantlay T15, Bubba and Jordan Spieth basically got you nothing. Bubba T54 and Spieth literally gets you nothing with a missed cut. Reavie ended up winning this thing. So let's see. 40 people had Ches Reavie. Shout out to you guys. Reavie played well at the US Open, so it wasn't completely inconceivable for him to get to Travelers, which is also a shorter course. There's some spots where he would excel, but 40 of you got there. Congratulations. Big win for him and big win for your bankroll as well. So where does that put my lineups? It continues to be a pretty good stretch for our weekly long picks. Going back to the Charles Schwab, we've gotten, at least $200,000 every single week. 197 from Spieth at the Schwab, 1.6 million for the win at the Memorial for Cantlay, 330 from Kuchar at the RBC, 367 from Adam Scott at the US Open, and then another 262 this week from Paul Casey at the Travelers. So that lineup, it's getting close. Our weekly lineup, which was in almost dead last for a long time, is about to surpass or closing in on our season-long lineup, both right now in the middle of the pack. Hasn't been a great run for our weekly pick since the Memorial where we had Adam Scott. DJ only gets us 79,000 at the RBC Canadian. Jason Day only gets us 117 at the US Open. And then Bubba, hurts us and only gets us 16,000. I was going to say something much more derogatory than that. Hurts us and only gets us $16,000 at the Travelers Championship. So where are we going to go this week? It is the Rocket Mortgage Classic. I highly encourage you to go back and watch the DFS preview. This is a brand new tournament. It is a brand new golf course. It is actually a combination, a hybrid of the two courses at the Detroit Golf Club, where for the majority of the holes, they'll be the north side, but they do steal like a hole or two from the south side to finish the 18-hole map. And we really don't know anything about it. We're doing a lot of speculation. We're saying maybe these are tree-lined fairways. Hard to say how old these photos are. We won't really know until the guys get there and start giving us some feedback. But what we do know is that it's going to play a traditional par 72, which means 4 par 5s, 4 par 3s, and the rest, 10 of them, par 4s. We do know that probably 2 of those par 5s are completely gettable by the entire field. A third is probably gettable depending on if you hit your tee shot long enough and in the fairway. You'll have to carry a little bit of I don't want to call it a pond, a little river, a little something in front of one of the par 5s. And then the fourth par 5 is not going to be reachable by anybody. It's like 655 yards. So that tells me there are a lot of birdie opportunities on these par 5s. There's a lot, I want guys that are going to eat them up. So looking at this, if I'm not even showing you the one and done tool for this week because you can go look at it. It's valuable, but because we don't have much Rocket Mortgage Classic, or I shouldn't even say much. We don't have any Rocket Mortgage Classic history. It's pretty difficult to use it with any sense of confidence. So what I'm looking at now is PGA course stats for the stats that I think are going to be important this week. It's the standard stuff, but I do want to look heavily onto good drive percentage, and I want to look heavily onto par 5. So if you look at this, DJ's 6-1 to win this event. So he's the odds-on favorite to win it. If you haven't used him to this point, I'd be pretty surprised. But if you want to go get him in a field where we have seen him at times actually run away with tournaments being a 5-1, 6-1 favorite, this would be your opportunity. There's really only 3 other studs here. It's Fowler, it's Gary Woodland, and it's Hideki Matsuyama. I'm a bit partial to Gary Woodland, quite honestly. So let me show you this really quickly. If we sort by par 5 scoring, nobody better in the field than Gary Woodland. Nobody has a better birdie or better percent overall. That's not just par 5s. He's one of the top players in strokes gained approach. He's one of the top players in strokes gained off the tee. Even when we go to par 4 scoring, he is 4th in the field in par 4 scoring. So it's really a situation which is a little bit rare where you get a guy in a field who destroys both par 5s and par 4s, and he has that approach and off the tee skill set that we would be looking for. The literal only knock against Gary Woodland is that he was the best player in the world the last time he teed it up. Think about that. That's the knock, that he actually won the U.S. Open. And now it's like, oh, how's he going to play after he won the U.S. Open? Is he going to be scared? Is he going to be tired from going on Ellen? Or like whatever it is, right? Like, I don't know. That's like the literal only knock. I'm not that worried about it. It's been 2 weeks now. Gary Woodland probably begging to get back to a golf course after some of the media obligations. I'm firing him up in my weekly pick. If I had to choose others here, I do really think if you haven't used Ches Reavie, I think it is still a good time to use him. He fits the mold for a lot of the types of players that I would expect to find success this week. Ryan Moore fits the mold for success. If you want to go deeper down the list, I think Joaquin Niemann is interesting if you want to use him here. I think that Charlie Hoffman could be interesting. And if you want to go super far down the list, I think Andrew Landry could be interesting. So that's where we're at. In my weekly, so let me show you where we're at here. In my season-long lineup, I actually had Ricky Fowler slotted for this. So being the, I don't know if it doesn't have anything to do with his sponsorship, but this was where the Quicken Loans National spot was last season. So kind of used the similar type of time of the year and where Ricky finds success to slot him into this before the season started. So that's who we're going with. Let me know who you're going with. Tweet me. It's at DFS On Demand or leave a comment below. I'll talk to you guys soon. Good luck.